Hey there, Dr. Cam here, and if you're a baseball player or softball player dealing with shoulder pain and wondering if you have a tear, you come to the right place. Today I'm breaking down how to tell if you're torn your rotator cuff or if you just have a shoulder injury. So let's dive in. So let's get started with some basics. Your shoulder has a complex set of muscles and tendons involving the rotator cuff, and there are generally two types of tears, a partial tear and a complete tear. And here's a quick rundown. A partial tear means the muscle is damaged but still partly intact. This could be small, medium, or absolutely massive. A complete tear means the muscle is fully torn, and it usually follows a significant trauma or injury. Think of this paper as a muscle. A partial tear might look like a small slice or a big tear, while a complete tear is like tearing the paper in half. A partial tear tends to hurt consistently, but a complete tear can cause severe pain that fades over time, leaving you actually with significant weakness. Now let's check some special tests that you can try at home to get an idea if you have a rotator cuff tear. The first is called the drop arm test. You want somebody to lift your arm up to the side, or you can lift your arm up to the side if you don't have that much pain, and simply can you lower it down slowly. If you can lift your arm straight out to the side, then slowly lower it, that probably means you don't have a rotator cuff tear. Now, if it just drops uncomfortably or drops just randomly, you might have a rotator cuff tear. And remember, if you cannot control the lowering motion, especially if you experience significant pain on the lowering, it's a sign of a possible tear, probably in the supraspinatus muscle. Next is the external rotation test. With your arm at your side, you want to bring it out into external rotation and try to hold your arm in an outward position. If it feels weak or it snaps back, even if it snaps back by 3 inches, it probably means you have a tear in the infraspinatus or possibly the teres minor. Again, if it's painful and weak, it's likely a partial tear. If you can't hold the position at all, a complete tear might be the culprit. Finally, you want to try the lift-off test. Place your arm on your back and see if you can lift it off. If you can't lift it off or it's extremely painful, it might indicate a full rotator cuff tear, specifically in the subscapularis. Now let's talk about shoulder impingement. This is when the rotator cuff gets pinched, often leading to pain and reduced movement. Here's a quick way to check for impingement. The first is the painful arc test. Simply, when you're raising your arm, do you have an arc of pain? And what that means is when you raise your arm up, does it hurt from 60 degrees to about 120 degrees and then goes away as you lift all the way up? If the pain is at this range and then goes away at the very end, it's a good indication that you're struggling with shoulder impingement. The next test is called the empty can test, which can also be used for a tear. The empty can test is when you raise your arm to shoulder height and point your thumb downward and resist pressure. If this causes pain, it's maybe a sign of impingement, but also I've seen this with rotator cuff tears. And lastly, we got the Hawkins kidney test. You want to raise your arm to 90 degrees, bend your elbow, and push downward. Usually I like if somebody else does that pressure for you, but again, if that causes pain, you're likely struggling with shoulder impingement. Remember, these tests can give you clues, but they aren't a substitute for a professional diagnosis. If you're experiencing significant pain or weakness, it's essential to consult with a physical therapist or an orthopedic specialist. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on keeping your shoulder in tip-top shape. I'm Dr. Cam, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, just stay strong and stay healthy, and I got you.